Imagine if I actually cared. Hi, Ugly. It's me, Bustler Moon, and this is my final cry for help. And welcome back to Hot or Rot. And today we'll be reviewing episode 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 5. Today our fish and chips were challenged to overact in Melodrama-Rama, and the runway category was Pajamarama. And because our queens were paired off for the challenge and their performances in the Melodrama-Rama were so closely tied together, I'll be reviewing each of the respective challenge sections as we go through the pairs of queens tonight, as well as taking a look at some drama involving Lawrence Chaney and Drag Merch UK, sister brand of the very same Club Kids UK. And girl, it's all downhill from here, so let's get started. First up, and in the order they hit the runway tonight, it's Marouli, who says she's bringing to the runway a little bit of rich Geordie slang, doing her walk of shame, or maybe in her case, walk of glory. Or actually, maybe in her case, walk of glory. And I'm gonna say immediately, this is not only one of my favorite looks of the night, but one of my favorite from Michael's catalog of runways so far. And it's because once again, Michael has found a way to take the runway category and apply this larger than life camp factor to it in a way that's totally unique, never been seen before, talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, sit on it, vomit on it, eat it, and give birth to it. Sorry, I had to make sure I got the quote right. But yeah, very all of that. And what was super spectacular about this look was how good she made bad drag look, while I, on the other hand, just make bad drag look even worse. And yes, she threw everything but the kitchen sink into that wig, but still managed to make this look super refined and totally hot. And next up, she's sticky, sweet, and salty. It's Caramel, who, for her Pajamarama fantasy, is giving us a little ode to mom. Or as Laganja might say, Mama. Yes, God. And I'm gonna say, I absolutely see the love that Cara has for her mother in this look. She is giving regal, rich, expensive, classy, and totally finessed. Plus, I love that extra draggy campiness of all those extra curls coming way down the sides of her shoulders and back for the wig. And as a mama's boy myself, I absolutely love that she did an homage to somebody so impactful to her life. Plus, girl, when she hits that little turnaround and has the reveal moment, she shows that moms can be sexy too. She's giving us a little Hannah Montana, a little best of both worlds. She's got a naughtier side, or a nightier side, if you will. This look is hot. Now, as for what Michael and Cara did in the challenge, their scene was called Footballers Wags. That starts off with Cara's character flirting with this very spexy Brit crew member, but she's gotta hide real quick because in comes Michael Marouli's girl boss character making all kinds of demands on the phone to who knows who. Hijinks ensue, and before you know it, these two are having a birth off of sorts, trying to fight over who's more pregnant with the Brit crew member's foot balls. And this was all fine and well, but overall felt, I think, a touch too serious on the side of Cara and Michael for what the actual challenge was calling for. That is a bit of overacting. Huh. Tammy Brown did write the blueprint. Because what these two did wasn't bad and was kind of funny, but it just didn't go anywhere, and the scene was actually completely stolen by Stefan, the Brit crew member, when he revealed that he was pregnant. And just to nitpick a bit, I mean, that is why we're here, it did feel as if Cara's performance maybe was holding Michael's back just a tad, because you could see the moments where Michael wanted to push and go further, but Cara just kind of kept meeting Michael at that same note, which was a very fine no, just not a great one. So I would leave Cara's performance here with a rot, and Michael's with like a warming up. And next up, don't adjust the color on your iPhone screens because it's just Kate Butch in an all gray beat, who says she's giving us a little bit of a glamorous boudoir woman. She's dead, she's alive, she's a ghost, she's haunting the runway, the judges, and our screens. And this, I'll admit, I was gagged a little bit for sure. Okay, firstly, it's not easy to do a gray beat. I've done it once or twice, and the amount of blending that has to go into making all the shadows of that look okay, we have to respect it. And I love those little pops of red that she's added with the red crystals around the eyes, and then in the back of her look where the weapon, the cause of death, is seen sticking out of her back, which we actually see because of the melodramatics that she gives us on the runway when she literally falls down face first and lays there for who knows how many real life seconds or minutes before finally getting back on the runway to spook the children. I thought this was such a great look from Kate because she really found a way to integrate what she's best at, theater, into a runway look and serve it all up in a tasty little package. Girl, Miss Kate Butch died so we could live. This look is hot. And next up, the other Ginger, Johnson, who, God help this woman, may or may not still have 3 sewing pins stuck in her esophagus and intestines. Drag is dangerous. That's what we learned today. That's what we learned today. Anyways, on the runway, she's giving us a little bit of Dolly Parton in a John Waters film, On Her Way to Catch a Man, as she so eloquently says in a confessional. And while I love that fantasy for her, I saw this look and was kind of getting a little bit of like Trisha Paytas in drag, meets a little bit of Miss Piggy at Halloween dressed as a rabbit. It's just what I saw. I saw what I saw. Because while the overall effect of her look does evoke the runway brief of Pajamarama, I think it just needed a little more focus. Like having some of the rabbit fur element integrated into her necklace or her dress in some way might have really behooved her. So I'll give the bunny slipper heels a hot, but the overall look is gonna be a rat, period. God, my tongue pops are good. Y'all can't say that. Y'all can't say nothing. Who would say something? As for what they did, okay, so the setup of Holedark is that Ginger is a maid, I guess in the Middle Ages, who is attending to Kate's chamber pot. When in walks Captain Holedark from his voyage at sea, hijinks ensue, and then we've got Kate and Ginger fighting over Captain Holedark himself. And as y'all can see, this setup itself was really good. The writing, the drama of it all, the silliness, the camp factor, like they were not only set up for success here, but absolutely executed on it. Because as the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And look, these two not only understood the assignment, but did the extra credit. They were overacting each other in ways that were just constantly one-upping each other's little physicalities and noises that they were making in order to win Captain Holedark's attention, which of course eventually drives him away, leading them to fall not only on, but for each other. Which I know, is a tale as old as time, Bussy queens say less. And these two not only get 5 out of 5 hot flames for me tonight, but I will say probably also set the standard for these acting challenges and what the queens are expected to do in them. It's called acting. Ha! And next up, it's a zebra. No, it's a pile of stuffed animals. No, it's a drag queen. Dressed as a zebra, dressed as a pile of stuffed animals. It's DeDeLicious, who, similar to Ginger tonight, I think tried to execute on too many concepts at once without a clear focus, which ultimately resulted in a confusing look. First, we've got this zebra cat suit, which in itself, I would say, is a great idea for this concept of Pajamarama. We love a onesie, and the idea of that open flap in the back, classic, fashionable, scandalous. But then there are these strange elements to it which take it into a strange arena of fashion. Like, I see what she was trying to do with creating some sort of hourglass-esque silhouette in the front with the black fabric, but then she's got that crazy zipper just coming right down the middle that totally takes me out of any kind of fantasy that was developing. And on top of all that, she's got these crazy sleeves or boa or cape, I'm not sure how it's actually sewn or not sewn into the look, of stuffed animals and pillows and tulle evoking a little kid's ballerina slumber party. And altogether, it's just a little too much, and again, lacking a focus that says she knows who DeDeLicious is and what DeDeLicious wants to accomplish. So I'm gonna give this look a rat. And next up, Tomara Thomas, who, good lord on the runway, is giving beauty, fashion, drag, and drama. The flavor, the no nails. I love that her runway, as she acknowledges, is a reference to the iconic Moschino stuffed teddy bear thing from like the 80s that Jeremy Scott in his time at the brand has compounded upon and made even campier and sillier with looks like he did for Gigi Hadid this past year. And I think Tomara did an excellent job here, not only paying homage, but expounding upon the concept of this teddy bear in her own unique style. With my favorite part of this look being those latex boots with the fur at the top. Boots with the fur! Of course, referencing Flow Rida. This look is hot. And now let's talk about what DeDe and Tomara did in their sketch titled Femmerdale, where the setup is here, you guessed it, 2 drag queens in quick drag fighting over the Brit crew member. But the flavor of this sketch is rural northern farm ranch style Britain, from what I can tell. And it opens with DeDe burying Tomara's body, which she thinks is dead. But the goop in the gag. She's not dead, but I am inside. And the melodrama of these two's performance, where they're supposed to be one-upping each other and taking the scene to new heights, comes in from the very beginning with the slap fights, which turns into cow patty throwing and hay bucket tossing. And as a whole, I would put their sketch like very much in the middle of tonight's 3 sketches because they were much funnier than Cara and Michael, but really only for the first third of what they were doing because they were able to find the funny in the fake slapping and were easily one-upping each other there, but struggled, I think, to reach new heights in their respective performances with each other in the rest of it. Separating them a bit though, I would say Tomara was a little funnier, mostly because of her natural sense of humor and general comfortability in this scene. It seemed though DeDeLicious was really struggling to find the levels in her performance, as Michelle would say. And we never really saw her escape the breathy nervousness in her acting that we did also see come out when she was singing in the musical. So I would say DeDe was the one who held this scene back just a little bit, and I would give her a rot, and Tomara, I would actually give a hot. On the debate of what their accents were and weren't, though, I couldn't tell you. It's all British to me. And concerning our win tonight, the repeater badge goes solely to Kate Butch, which I will not argue is very much deserved on her part, but kind of felt like a stiff to Ginger Johnson. Because I really don't think Kate or Ginger outshined each other, and in fact, they were an excellent pairing at equal levels that gave different but equally funny performances tonight, and I think they both deserve the badge. But hey, Ginger does already have 3. Props to you, mom. And concerning our bottom 2, we've got Michael and Caramel. And this I disagreed with a little bit because it seemed that DeDeLicious probably should have been the one in the bottom with Cara, as I saw those two as the weakest overall in the challenge. Despite, yes, Cara and Michael's sketch overall being the worst. But this is just classic Drag Race production, I suppose, where we're going to evaluate them as a group when it comes to determining bottoms, but not winners. Let's make it make sense. Okay. So Michael and Cara lip sync, and I did react to this lip sync over on my Patreon at patreon.com/BussyQueen. That's my members only website where my Patreon family gets exclusive member benefits like early access to my YouTube videos and access to exclusive videos like those reaction videos every single week. And you too can help support the Bussy Queen channel and become a Patreon family member by clicking the link in the description of this video. See you there. But considering I really didn't see this bottom 2 coming, I thought surely they were setting up a double Shantae. Especially, because we're like, what, down 2 queens than we should have been. So a double Shantae would have made sense here, especially considering they both did super great in the lip sync. And I would give them both hots, and I think there's an argument for either of them to stay. Cara was very much giving hot, sexy body in this lip sync, and Michael was maybe giving a little more camp, but both were good in their own regards. But to my surprise, there was no double Shantae planned, and RuPaul just sends Caramel packing, which was not bittersweet at all. It was just bitter. Like seriously, I hated seeing her go because she felt like an obvious front runner, especially from the beginning of the competition, and I feel like has been doing really good. And we did just see somebody else who's still in the competition and maybe deserved to be in the bottom this episode, who bottomed like 2 times before in the prior 2 episodes. But who's keeping track? And we'll circle back on Hottest Hots for the end of the video, but first let's talk about a little bit of tea and drama concerning Club Kids UK, the drag queen tour management / merch group thing running over there in Britain, of which there seems to be a lot lately. We'll just say that. We had Anitra cancel her tour with them, or them cancel Anitra's tour with her, however that happened. And now we're seeing Sasha Colby announce a cancellation of her tour over there in the UK with Club Kids UK. Earlier this week on Instagram stories, Sasha Colby wrote, "Hi my babies, after unforeseen circumstances, I regret to share with you that the Goddess tour produced by Club Kids has been canceled. My team fought to keep this tour going, and I will always do everything in my power to give you the best show possible, but unfortunately after a number of logistical issues, that is not possible with this tour. To the fans that have already purchased tickets, I am so sorry, and please be sure to contact Club Kids for a full refund. I will be back in the near future and we will have our time together. I love you all and thank you for your support, Mother." Oh, and side note, if you haven't seen Sasha Colby perform live, you are missing out. Go out of your way to see her. For real. For real, for real. On God. On God's sleigh, bestie. But concerning what Club Kids UK had to say on the matter, this email was sent out to customers shortly after Sasha's announcement. "Dear Club Kids, this really is not the email we were expecting to send this week. Due to the recent issues that have risen on social media, Sasha and her team has decided hold out from touring with Club Kids this November." Girl, can we proofread this before we send it out to customers, or what? What are we doing? "We did everything in our power to make it work, but with everything and everybody against us right now, we have failed to make it work." This is dramatic, in my opinion. We are waiting on a response from Sasha management on if and when we will be getting our deposits returned. Then we can start issuing refunds. This is a challenge. We understand the upset this must cause to all the fans hoping to see Sasha in the UK and Europe, but I am very positive she will return soon and you will have your special moment then. Until then, please take care of each other and please send love, not hate. We are all human, we certainly are, and we are all trying our best, we certainly are, and that's all we can do right now. But unfortunately, things don't always go the way we had hoped. Sending love from all the Club Kids, Team X. And so that is what had or not had happened with Sasha, Colby, and Club Kids UK. But we also have Lawrence Chaney doubling back on some drama with a sister company also owned by the guy who runs Club Kids UK called Drag Merch UK. And basically what had happened here was a couple weeks ago, Lawrence Chaney noticed that there were some quote unquote autographed merch items going out with her signature on them that she did not place there herself. And she was calling this out back when all the queens were talking about missing money and not getting paid from this tour group. And this week, she called them out again, or I guess, I don't know, just asked a question. But basically, the merch side of this company or sister company is closing. They said, unfortunately, Drag Merch UK will be closing down and will be under new ownership in the next couple of weeks with a total rebrand. We thank all of our customers for your support, previous and present, and hope you show the same support to the new owners of Drag Merch UK in 2024. Over the next couple of weeks, any remaining stock we have will be sold at cost price, which is screen capped and then put onto X, FKA, Twitter, and mentioned to Lawrence Chaney, who wrote, "But who's taking over?" To which Joe Black replied, "Bailiffs." This is really the gift that keeps on giving this year. But in all seriousness, I just want to say my heart goes out to anybody who has received merch that was not what they thought it was. And also, of course, to the queens who have not gotten paid, as they say, for things that they had hoped or maybe should have gotten paid for, in my opinion. And finally, let's talk about our hottest hots for this episode. On the runway, I'm gonna give it to Michael Marouli. And in the challenge, I'm gonna give it to Ginger and Kate. How about that, RuPaul? And I also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hots, and this week they've chosen Kate Butch in the runway and in the challenge. And don't forget that you too can vote on hottest hots every single week and get access to exclusive content over on my Patreon at patreon.com/BussyQueen, where my patrons' financial contributions to my channel actually make a difference and help me do this, whatever this is. Whatever this is that I'm doing. But seriously, thank you to all my patrons that have been supporting me for years and to any new potential patrons who wish to support me in the future. I love you all, and thank you for watching today's video, which will end with an extra special shout out and thank you to Ashley Brungart, Dorothy Hall, Felicia, Frankie, Jeffrey Steenberg, Sarah, Matthew Burns, Sailor, Sharkies, Stephen Topher, Tyler Hendricks MD, and Will and Tana, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier over on patreon.com/BussyQueen. See you later. Love ya. Bye. Girl, it's called hair rings. Look it up. When you see this on the Kardashians next week, I want y'all to remember who started the trend, okay? Period.